What's up guys, Ryan here, treadawaytraining.com, and in this video we're going to talk about how to get your protein intake up. We all know protein is important for building muscle and losing fat, and most of us don't get enough protein in. So we're going to talk about what we can eat to get our protein intake up. The first and the most obvious choice is going to be your meat. For meat, you're going to want to choose a lean cut of meat, which would be your chicken breast, tuna, tilapia, cod. You can do lean ground beef, you can do steak, just make sure to trim the fat off. Now I emphasize here getting the lean cuts of meat because we want to get the most amount of protein for the fewest amount of calories if we're concerned with fat loss. And if you get a fattier cut of meat, there's going to be more calories, so you're going to have to eat less of it, which means you'll be getting less protein in. Calories is the most important part of fat loss, and protein is the second most important thing for fat loss, so we want to make sure we're getting enough protein without eating too many calories. Another great source of protein is eggs, and again here this is going to be a fattier source of eggs. So one thing that I like to do when I do eggs is I like to do 3 whole eggs, 3 egg whites, and then throw some fat-free cheese on top of that. And then that leads me into my next one, which is low-fat dairy. You can do low-fat or fat-free cheese, you can do low-fat milk. Greek yogurt is a great source of protein, and as an added benefit, dairy actually has unique fat loss benefits. Studies have actually shown that people who consume more dairy actually lose more body fat, even if the amount of calories that they consume are equal to those who are eating less calories. Now, if you're not getting enough meat and you're not getting enough dairy, or whatever the case may be, whatever reason you're not getting enough protein, one thing you can do for convenience is a protein bar. One thing that I do want to caution you about with a protein bar is that you're typically going to have a lot more calories in a protein bar than any of the previous options that I've mentioned before, because there's typically going to be a decent amount of carbs and fat in those as well in order to get that nice flavor and consistency that you want to actually make the protein bar good. A little bit better of an option that's going to have less calories and is almost as convenient as a protein bar will be a protein shake, and that's actually what I want to talk about for the rest of this video. Protein shakes are great for getting enough protein in if you're having trouble getting to that protein target. One thing that you want to look for is you want to get a whey protein. Whey protein is also the highest quality protein in existence. The protein that I like to get, I have it right here, is Optimum nutrition protein. It's not the cheapest protein, but it's also not that expensive either. Depending on what flavor you get, most of them will have about 75 servings per 5-pound container, and it goes for $57.99 last time I checked on Amazon. So as far as the balance between quality, taste, cost, mixability, I think Optimum Nutrition is probably the best protein you can get, and I'll put a link to that down in the description if you want to check that out. And one important thing is it mixes really well with water. You can just put some water in a shaker cup, put a scoop of protein in there, shake it up, and you're going to be able to drink that without having to, choke down any clumps or anything like that. Now, some people I understand just aren't going to enjoy protein powder. Not everybody is like me and has been drinking protein for several years and can just put just water in there and protein and slam it back and be good to go. So I've put together a few protein smoothie recipes that you might want to check out. The first one is actually one that my wife came up with just yesterday actually, and I'll put the macros and calories up on the screen here. And what she did was she did a handful of mixed frozen berries. She did water, ice, a scoop of protein, and a Dannon Fit and Light drinkable like little yogurt cup thing. And it came out to be, I think, 35 grams of protein, 36 carbs, 2 fat, and 8 fiber if I remember correctly. I'll have the macros up on the screen. And then another great tasting smoothie you can do is simply a little bit of water, a scoop of vanilla protein, the one I just showed you, and do a serving of orange Kool-Aid powder. That'll add 16 carbs to your protein shake, which will be an extra 64 calories. So if you can spare the 64 calories, which isn't going to be that big of a deal for most people, then that's a great tasting smoothie as well. Just put a little bit of ice in there and blend it up. I'll put the macros for that one up on the screen too. And an alternative to this one, if you don't have the calories to spare for the Kool-Aid powder, is you can get the little squirt things of Kool-Aid that you squirt into a water bottle, and you can actually put that in there instead. Now, I will warn you, it doesn't taste quite as good as if you put the real Kool-Aid in there, but it will have 0 calories, and it still tastes, pretty good. So if you have the calories to spare, you can go with the actual Kool-Aid powder, and then if you don't have the calories to spare, then you can go with the little squirt flavor bottles. And the last one that I want to tell you about is a peanut butter banana protein shake. Get half of a banana, get 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, about 4 ounces of water, a couple cubes of ice, a scoop of vanilla protein powder, throw that in the blender. That's probably one of my favorites right there. Give that one a try first if you can spare the extra calories for the peanut butter and the banana. I love that one. That one's really, really good. If you don't have as many calories to work with, if you're on a pretty tight diet, I would recommend trying the Dreamsicle one, the one with the orange Kool-Aid in it. You can try that one first. And if you're curious as to how much protein you need in a day, I actually made a video about that before. I'll link that up in the cards here. I believe they're over here. And I will link that down in the description as well, so check that out. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos. I will be back Sunday on the Treadaway Training Blog with another fat loss topic. As always, God bless you and your family, and I'll see you Sunday.